Hi, Fearless fam! Welcome to Fearless Faith Podcast. Together with me is an assistant professor in theology from the Ateneo de Manila University with a PhD in moral theology and my household head in C4 Singles. Let's give it up to Tita Mariles! How
Hi.
are you? How's Rome?
Wow. No, really, Rome was a lot of fun because we had a pilgrimage. It was a jubilee year, so yeah.
If I only have the luxury of time to go, I would.
Maybe the next jubilee in 25.
Ilan taon na ako nun?
Kaya pa.
Yes. But how's your year so far? Parang ang dami nangyari.
Oh my gosh, a lot has happened, di ba, Car? You know that. We started, di ba, okay, for me, the most memorable trip we had together
Bacolod.
this year was Bacolod.
I'm
for
so
Davao.
grateful for that trip. And not
It's a
knowing.
blessing, di ba?
And parang we also had that last household in your place before you got injured.
Yeah.
And then not knowing na
Yeah.
you'll get injured there. Parang, it
No, that
makes
was
sense.
your despedida.
Yeah,
Baguio.
pero ang galing. Kasi
Yeah.
di ba kahit hindi pa yun yung dapat na last household
Yeah.
ko. And then, it makes sense kung bakit nga pala yun na yung naging last household ko.
Yes.
Since,
We weren't able to see each other before you left.
but I was so grateful with the Bacolod trip. It was very,
It was memorable and
Yeah.
uplifting kasi we met the family of
Mhm.
Dalao, di ba?
And I mean, bonding with you and Mary and Naomi.
So much fun, yeah.
Yes.
But then because, the injury happened because I was so excited with King Kong.
With a photo.
So I turned around and that's why, and I thought it was just that's why I twisted and I
Mhm.
thought it was a sprain.
Yeah.
And so they put it in a bucket of water na panay ice. It was so cold.
So we didn't know that time it was that
No.
serious.
Diba? But we know the blessing, the guy, the driver, he
Mhm.
lent me the tungkod for one,
Yes,
for the days
number
that we were
one.
there.
And then my cousin also is a
Yeah.
PT. And then may nurse din akong cousin na
Yeah. Yeah.
Parang, yeah.
In fact, when I got back to Manila, super chill, diba? And then when I saw the doctor, my
Mhm.
orthopedic, he said, wala yan,
Okay
sprain lang
lang.
yan.
Okay,
Kasi he
nothing
was,
to worry about.
so he's pushing it back and forth and goes,
Mhm.
this is painful, does this hurt? I said, no. And then I said, Doc, don't I need an x-ray? And he said, yeah, it's just for formalities, sige, do it na. And then when he got the results, when I was on my way home, he said, I have bad news for you.
Oh
You have a
no.
fracture.
Oh no.
But it's the most common. But because of that fracture,
Mhm.
for 1 month, I had to stay at home. I couldn't even walk around. I couldn't even go down for lunch. But
I think it was also the Lord telling you to pause.
it really was because he said, yeah, pause
Mhm.
and just take stock and relax and rest.
Yeah.
Because kulang sa rest because I've been like,
You're always on the go.
always on the
But
go.
we missed you during the leaders weekend retreat.
Yeah, because na nga, my doc said, hindi pa, wag
Mhm.
muna. And I was also trying to be careful and a good girl because I wanted to be back in school in September. So the whole of August the whole of August it was online lang
Mhm.
with my students. So I only got to meet them in September. And also I wanted to be a good girl so that by the time Rome came for the Jubilee, we had our first European conference for Catholics.
Yeah.
Like Europe. So it was beautiful. It was God-filled. It was just really a good opportunity to celebrate just also the Jubilee year and being there and going to the four doors.
And you also had like an extended trip after.
Yeah, so my mother-in-law,
Mhm.
she wanted to go to visit her friends in Vienna. So, well, first Milan, we attended a wedding anniversary, 25th, and then to Vienna. And I was just going from church to church. So a lot of time for prayers. I prayed for you.
Oh,
And I
thank
prayed,
you.
for the other singles and of course our community because we're gonna celebrate our our 10th conference.
Oh yeah.
In
Big-
January.
big
And in
anniversary.
September 2026, we'll have 10 years
Mhm.
of Catholics for Family.
Wow, 10 years na community also.
Grabe, no? It's so fast.
Yes. And then, I actually saw your photo with your mother-in-law. And then, apo ba yun? Ang gagwapo nakita
Those
ko.
are those are her apos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Trina, she moved to Milan because she learned pattern
Mhm.
making sa UP, I think clothing technology. And then she got to practice it there. She was working in mga clothing, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Anyway, so she settled, she fell in love there,
Yeah.
married at Italiano, and those are her
Mhm.
children. Yeah, so.
Grabe, catch up pa lang yun. I'm super because I haven't seen you for like,
Yeah,
yeah. Unlike
for
before
months.
that, we're always seeing each other, tutor, with the time gonna bring her
Yeah,
to your house, regular households. And then parang ito lang yung time na parang I feel like I haven't seen you for
yeah, for
like,
a while.
yeah, plus two households that, diba? It
Oh
was
yeah,
ako
yeah,
and
because
Mary.
we were in Rome.
So, I guess I also want to ask, like, medyo fast forward. I mean, mag flashback from
Mhm.
your childhood also. You wanna know?
Childhood.
Yes.
Um,
Parang studious ka ba talaga ever since? You like studying na ba growing up?
yeah, I'm a
Really?
teacher, diba? So,
Okay.
parang I realized, okay, when I was growing up, okay, first, the spiritual side. Parang, okay, I was grade four, and I was grade four, and I was a very quiet
Mhm.
girl. Okay, and I was so engrossed in reading this Lives of the Saints. The
Ah.
teacher was calling us already, the circle, Miss
Mhm.
Santos. And then, because I didn't go, because I didn't hear her, she got mad at me and she sent me out of the
Ah.
room. They used to do that during those
Mhm.
times. And because of that, I wanted to prove that I was going to be the best student ever in
Mhm.
Christian living, in
Grabe.
religion, in CLE, Christian Living
Mhm.
Education, CLE. So I really pushed myself to do well in CLE, but
Mhm.
then I really loved it. So parang there's really this desire to,
Yeah, you have the love for
yeah,
that.
for the
Mhm.
faith and all of that, and
Okay.
learning about the faith.
How
And
old? How young were you? What grade?
I was grade four.
Grade
Then ever since
4.
then, talagang I made sure that I would do well to show.
Was your like family religious na ba that time?
Um,
Kasi 'di ba parang saan nanggaling yun? I mean, usually you see it, for example, with me, with my parents, with my dad, with my mom.
no, I
Yeah, so it
mean,
was just,
it was that,
okay.
but I think there's a leaning because I think both my lolas maybe prayed a lot.
Okay, maybe that.
Diba?
Yeah.
And then, what do you call this? When I got to high school, I realized how this is now the teacher side. Parang when people would ask, I would explain to them things. And I
Mhm.
said, I like explaining things. So my
Okay,
teacher
you're the
side came
teacher.
out.
Okay.
And then the marriage of the two
Mhm.
was, I was, okay, I took up psychology
Mhm.
for college at the
Mhm.
Ateneo. And then, what do you call this? When I graduated, my first job was as a what do you call it, preschool teacher for parang basta I won't tell basta
Mhm.
preschool teacher. And that day I didn't show up. I called up and I said, I'm not coming in.
'Cause
Wala, parang I just didn't want to do the teaching thing.
at that time.
Yeah, right after college. So I said, I wanted to do something exciting and ano.
I
So,
think normal
di
talaga
ba?
siya after graduation.
Yeah,
Na
di ba?
parang you
You
don't
want
wanna,
something different and exciting.
yeah.
So I went into advertising. So I was an account manager,
Really? Okay.
account management.
Tita and creator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
not creative, account
Okay.
management.
Okay.
But all my friends were in the creative. So like I'd have lunch with them, but
Mhm.
I'd hang out more with them. But anyway, and then I got a call from my friend was saying, "Hey, I there's an opening in Poveda." So I
Mhm.
said, sige. So I took the job. I did a demo in English. And then when I met with the director, she goes, "You want to teach CL?"
Mhm.
And I was like, how do you say no to the director?
Mhm.
I said, okay.
Pero at that time, hindi pa 100% you don't see yourself.
Yeah, di ba? Ano, I was okay with the
Okay.
teaching.
Pero not.
Parang CL, parang,
Pero ang
no
galing
English, di ba?
how God also brings you those kind of
Yes,
people
it
na parang
was his
you
call,
will
di ba?
reflect na parang, no, pwede. Parang,
Yeah, so parang all,
galing.
all, all the time pala.
Mhm.
To tell you honestly, Car,
Mhm.
you know what I wanted for college?
Good.
I applied sa UP, theater arts. I wanted
Really?
to be
Why
stage
not? Oh my
actress.
gosh. Like Natalia ka pala.
But then, wala. You know, I was not allowed to go to
naman.
UP because of, I'm the unika iha. So, my parents are very strict, di ba? So,
Sheltered ka talaga at
yes.
the Ateneo.
Yeah, so dapat Ateneo, no other than the
Mm.
Ateneo. So I was like, oh, okay. So,
Mm.
but then, you know, when I teach, because now I teach, diba? I've been teaching for a long time. I taught in Poveda, then I now teach in the Ateneo with the theology department. Parang, yung pagka-arte ko, I can bring it out, diba?
Yeah.
Yung drama,
True.
when you teach, kasi it makes a difference din pala.
Yeah. At least we're not stuck with those teachers na yung the usual.
Yeah. I think, yeah, everyone brings their own uniqueness in it. And I think, you know, whatever our call is talaga, you just have to realize that all the gifts that you've been given, the mga passions we have, mga desires, it all fits into this unique vocation that God has for us. So, yeah, and then we just have to ask the questions and discover. And a lot of, you know, like my sons, they're kind of confused. It's a Gen Z thing, I think,
Yeah.
about what they
And
want.
millennial.
Okay, diba? Because there's so many opportunities compared to my time, diba?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
time, you know, you could count with your fingers.
And at the same time, during your time, kapag finish mo ng college, work agad.
Yeah,
Unlike
diba?
us, our generation, parang may discernment stage. Parang stage na, is this something that I want?
That's okay. And I think if you have the fears and all of that, that's okay. What's important is that you keep trying and keep figuring out, oh, sige, this one, I don't like it pala. Okay, not that. And then continue. But of course, what really helps is discernment, diba? You pray a lot. And I think if you're part of a community, it helps kasi you're not alone in the discernment journey. How wonderful, diba, to know that you're not, hindi ka nag-iisa, diba? Other people who have the same fears and concerns. So I think community is important. You know, since I was 16, I've been part of a community.
Okay.
Ever since. And I was like, oh, I'm really, everyone naman is
Tsaka
really.
tita, yung sa community, no, akala mo before mag-join ka lang. Pero once you join the community, parang you can't see yourself without a community.
Exactly, diba? Kasi those are your friends, your, of course, your spiritual brothers and sisters. But parang lessens the burden, diba? That you can share your problems and even talk about God, diba? Kasi sometimes with our other friends, parang when you start talking about God.
And, di ba, tita, may kwento pa ako sa'yo na dati yung CFL yung parang last ko. And then now, even with a group of friends, parang sa birthday ko, mas gusto ko yung CFL community family na yan, kasama ko more than other group of friends.
Yeah.
So, magiging number one siya. Siguro kasi align yung values.
Yeah.
Mas gets nila the things that you pray for.
Yeah, diba? So much better. Sometimes kasi when you talk about with other friends, it becomes like, what's happening to so-and-so, tapos and all of that.
Gossip about other people's life.
Yeah, so here, it's you come in and they accept you as you are.
And then if they really ask, how are you? They really mean it.
Yeah.
Yung parang, how are you? Parang you can really say, how are you?
Yeah.
Like yung parang small talks na, good. Yung parang labas sa ilong.
Although, in reality, diba? I mean, community life's not naman perfect, diba? I mean, some people kasi they expect you like, because you're in community, you're supposed to be super holy or super good. But you know, we're just real people just wanting to meet the Lord
Kaya
together.
nakakatuwa din talaga meeting different personalities in the community. Kahit diverse, okay, tao pa rin pala to. Kahit na, of course.
You know, in one of my groups, like I met a kabet. Yeah, she was kabet. And parang she was struggling on whether to let go of this.
Saka,
but you know, it was so, parang I was like, oh, so you only hear about parang sama ng mga kabet. You know? Of course, mali naman talaga yung ginagawa. But you could also understand where they're coming from. And
saka those are the people you have to welcome in the community because the more that they need God in their life. And then from there, let God do the work. At least, diba?
When they feel that everyone's judging them.
Kasi parang they just wanted love and attention and, diba? They're coming from somewhere.
Yeah, and that's why we have community.
And speaking of community, Tita, who was your influence? Or who brought you to the community?
I have a friend who, you know, a friend who brought me in, and I was like, I don't want to join that kasi mga singles yan. No, they're all looking for a partner.
Okay.
I just want to to focus on God.
Mhm.
But then I realized that not everyone naman was just looking for somebody
Actually.
to ano, but real people and who became real friends, who are my friends until
Mhm.
today, di ba? So
You
yeah.
grew up talaga together na, no?
Yeah, but so this friend na nga brought me in. So parang in the beginning, we weren't taking it seriously, but
Mhm.
after a while, yeah, we realized how wonderful to talk
Mhm.
about God and journey nga with other
Mhm.
people.
So, after how many, of course, how many years you've been in the community, ano yung mga naging struggle? Kasi, alam kong hindi lang good things. When you're in a community, hindi naman din promise ni Lord na when you
Yeah,
surrender
everything's
everything to
perfect.
Him, right?
Well, one my biggest struggle
Mhm.
talaga in all these years was really when I got cancer, di ba?
Mhm.
I'll tell you, I mean, you remember the date. So
Mhm.
it's December 4,
Mhm.
2014. Um, I thought, they had done what do you call, the injection biopsy,
Mhm.
to just check. And I was just like, la la la,
Mhm.
super, and then she said, na I had cancer. You know how, when they're talking to you, parang in peanuts,
Mhm.
parang, wah, wah, wah,
Nag-sink
wah,
in ba agad? Or
hindi
parang,
nga, parang
okay.
I was just like, nakatulala,
Okay.
And then about a week later na nga, I had my radical
Mhm.
mastectomy. And they biopsied it, diba? So December 11, right before, the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And I remember my tita, she put the tilma on me and she said, our Blessed Mother is with you and our Lord is with you and you don't have to fear. And, so, I mean, I didn't think about it. And then, they found out it was stage 2
Mhm.
A breast, ductal carcinoma. And I had to go through chemotherapy,
Mhm. What was on your mind at that time?
just the cost. Diba? Because
Mhm.
I'm a teacher, how much is that gonna cost?
Okay,
How
course
will I,
agad. You were thinking
Yes.
about
And,
the
and the second thing is, sabi ng, my uncle said, and you're gonna lose your hair.
okay, so you're concerned about her.
Lose my hair. I started to cry. And then she said, but you're gonna get it back.
Mhm.
You're gonna get your hair back. It's gonna grow back.
Ay, be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, my friends, Tin, she's a doctor. I said, well, after the first chemo session, I was doing this and I said, Tin, my hair's falling now.
Mhm.
And she goes, I'm gonna go there. And we're gonna shave your head. I
Mhm.
mean, I said, they're gonna shave my head. And she goes, I'm gonna go
Mhm.
there. Wait for
Mhm.
me. And we're gonna have a glass of wine and we're
Mhm.
gonna, cheer
Parang
for
feeling na parang you feel light.
yeah,
Even though,
yeah.
despite
And
that.
then so she wore a bandana with me
Mhm.
after they shaved
Oh.
off my head and we had
Mhm.
a picture
Mhm.
and she said, yeah, and she was really there for me. Of course
Mhm.
my friends were there. But also community was there in
Mhm.
the hard times. I'm separated.
Mhm.
So, you know, I couldn't have a husband going
Mhm.
with me, but all my friends and people in community said, "Oh, when will I go with you?" Because I 8 sessions, and every single session was filled up with
Mhm.
friends and
Yeah.
people from community, and
Overwhelming
yeah,
love.
overwhelming
Mhm.
love. And when people, I was wearing the bandana, and people thought that it was a fashion
Mhm.
statement.
No,
They
you
didn't
make
think,
it
yeah,
still look fashion.
because they didn't think I was sick at the time kasi hindi pa masyadong uso
Mhm.
yung breast cancer.
Mhm.
I mean, it only went up,
Mhm.
in I think in that year or whatever. So people would not think that I had that I was undergoing chemotherapy, but really, it was a outpouring love and
Mhm.
support
Yeah.
and the grace of God, of course. And that trying time, it was community that was there,
Mhm.
knowing that they were, of course, helping also financially, but also the prayers
Mhm.
and just the love, diba? So parang you never feel alone because there are other people walking with you.
Mhm. Kahit na parang 'di ba ang husband one lang, pero yung binigay naman sa'yo na support
Yeah.
and love talagang overflowing.
Yeah. And my fear talaga when I found out. So I was hugging my mother-in-law and
Mhm.
I said,
Grabe
paano
yung
na?
closeness niyo ng
Yeah
mother.
nga. Because nga, she's also with community, di ba? She goes,
Mhm.
I said, paano na my
Mhm.
sons? Di ba? At the time, they
Okay.
were young pa, di ba? In grade school, ganun.
Mhm.
And I said, paano na sila? And she goes, so the Lord will take care of
Mhm.
you and you will be well.
Mhm.
And true enough, di ba? I'm celebrating 10
Mhm.
years.
10 years!
Yeah,
Oh my
so I'm now officially on remission. I
okay.
finished my tablets, a few months ago, last August,
Mhm.
and now
Mhm.
I'm officially on remission. Yeah,
Galing.
God's
Like,
bless.
testimony talaga how God works.
Yeah, God really works.
Mm.
But bakit
And And then, tita, actually, joining the community, ang sinabi sa akin ng dad ko at that time was, sabi daw ni Tito Chito na we have the perfect
Oh, perfect.
perfect household head for you.
Ah,
And then I'm so happy and grateful na talagang you were there for me and you journeyed also with me through ups and downs. Alam mo yung naging story ng buhay ko, achievements, ups and downs, yung mga discernment stage ko, the more that you also pray for me. And may question now regarding like, when do you think the Holy Spirit also worked on you? Kasi ako, 'di ba, parang ang kwento ko nun, it was during the time na BFF. Pero hindi pa yung start of my BFF. Pero yung it was during the time that I was given the task to also facilitate
mm,
and take care of these people.
mm.
So sa'yo, parang yung full blow na 100%.
Ah. Kasi me, it was bits and pieces. Eh.
Okay. So it
Diba?
filled you up.
Yeah, so I was
Paunti-unti.
16 na, di ba?
Parang installment.
Yeah, I was 16 in community. And then I went through a long journey of just enjoying knowing about God and all of that and knowing God personally. And then what do you call it? I had a born again phase in
Oh,
my
yeah.
life where parang the Lord also came alive. And I was searching really for a community that was charismatic, that was similar to the wonderful experience of the Holy Spirit. What do you call this? And then, yeah, it was just a renewal from community to community until we ended up with Catholics for Family Life. And the beauty, I think, of Catholics for Family Life is it's very Catholic. I'm just realizing the beauty of the Catholic faith. Of course, I love, the worship, the, prayers, but also the praying of the rosary. And we don't lose that.
Yun nga,
The Mass.
the things that
Diba?
parang
They
you can
forgotten.
tell the Lord or parang you don't know what to pray.
Yeah.
Parang you can just pray or you just go to mass. You can just pray the rosary. And do you also believe, Tita, in spiritual dryness or may experience
Ay,
ka ba? Kasi grabe yung faith mo eh. Overflowing. May times ba that you also
Of course,
experience that?
diba? There are ups and downs naman
Mhm.
talaga. And I think so after the chemo, sometime in 2016, I was on a 5-day silent retreat and I didn't know that what do you call this? I was still hurting about my broken
And
relationship.
at the same
diba?
time, like what happened to you physically? Like yung cancer?
Yeah. So after that, so I wanted to go on retreat
Mm.
precisely.
Ako naniniwala talaga ako eh.
Diba?
Na if
If you have broken relationships, it affects your body physically and it manifests. For me, it was cancer. And so, I was praying and outside anger came out. I was angry pala at the Lord. And I said, where's this coming from? And I said, God, I'm faithful to you. I love you. I know you love me. You could have done something, but you didn't. What? And then, and then I brought it to the cross, the spiritual guide at the time. She told me, stand at the foot of the cross with our Blessed Mother as she sees her dying son and bring your pain to the Lord. And I think that's where the healing began. Diba? So even if you think you're okay na, sometimes it comes
in waves.
in waves, and you know that, the
Grief
waves. Diba?
din siya. It's like losing or, di ba? Parang kang namatayan in a way. But,
Talaga kasi namatay yung relationship,
Yeah.
diba? Na parang, I'm a good Catholic and I want to preserve marriage because that's really what we're supposed to do. But it takes two kasi, diba? And it's if only one wants to work and the other does not. And then I realized napatay na talaga yung relationship and I had to let go. Diba? But it's different for everyone. So, and even now, diba, there are moments of dryness naman talaga. But,
kahit sa relationship man
diba?
yan, diba?
Even in regular relationships, but you keep on going, diba? Kasi commitment yan, diba? And then the feelings come back, diba? And then, it gets better. But as you said, seasons lang talaga yan. Diba?
Agree.
Just hold on in the dry seasons, diba?
So thank you, Tita, for being vulnerable. Grabe. Grabe yung roller coaster of emotions. And thank you for also sharing your beautiful testimony. Maybe you can also invite them for the upcoming Baguio BFF.
So, welcome everyone, and thank you for listening to us today. And I just want to invite you Cara and I would like to invite you to the next Basic Faith Formation. It's going to happen for the first time sa Baguio, and it's going to be an opportunity for you to meet the Lord in a deeper way. And so join us, Sana. I mean, you feel the topic from the Lord calling you to join us. Now's the time for you to make a change.
And Tita Mariles is gonna be one.
I'm gonna be there, yeah, with Char. So we hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. So